What's up and welcome back to Beyond the Grave Media. This is Josh here checking in on you out there in YouTube land. Happy Friday. Dude, we made it, dudes and dudettes and everybody in between. I can't believe we made it. I love the weekend. We're here. If you don't like the weekend, if you're one of those people that just kind of works on the weekend, what are you doing? You're not doing life right. I don't agree with it. I'm down for having some projects and keeping your house nice, getting some shit done during the weekend that you couldn't get done during the work week. But you've got to take some time for yourself. You have to have a little reset time before you go back into a job, especially if it's a stressful job, just to watch some physical media, just to watch some movies that make you feel good, that make you happy. And what we're doing tonight, what we're talking about is my go-to. I used to have this thing, I kind of still do, where every Sunday night I would pull out my easy chair because I'm old, right? I'm an 80s kid. I would sit back and I would just kick the chair back. I would turn on the fireplace. I would light a candle. I would like set this mood. And I would just go down 90s nostalgia. Sometimes I would watch Angry Video Game Nerd. I would watch people reviewing my favorite 90s movies. I would watch deleted scenes. Wherever nostalgia kind of took me, right? Ultimately, all I really wanted to do, it turns out, was watch like bad action movies from the 80s and the 90s, specifically Van Damme, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, right? Some of the go-to, maybe a little Kurt Russell in there. I can do some of that once in a while too. A little breakdown. I love that fucking movie. And that was my thing. I would just sit back in my recliner and I used to like drink this certain kind of beer that was kind of refreshing, that I was like, oh, it doesn't feel like I'm doing any work while I'm doing this. And it was the best part of my week. It was that like 3 or 4 hours on Sunday night to just put on stuff that I already know and just be entertained. And a lot of times it was the same movies and I would like skip around like I was going to choose something else. And then eventually I always went back to like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Stallone, Over the Top. I watch Rocky all the time, so I don't think it's fair to Rocky to say I'm not going to they know that I watch those. Rocky knows. They've got to check on me. I'm good. But my go-to flick also is Cobra. That's my favorite Stallone flick next to probably Rocky 3. I watch Cobra all the time. And we're going to talk about it. Can't wait to get into it. Let's see. Also, guys, YouTube is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be like a relaxing experience. It's supposed to be like interesting and maybe thought-provoking, or maybe you just hate what the people say, and that's kind of cool too, because you can be like, oh, this guy pissed me off, and you can kind of get into it. Tell your friends like some shit that you watched. But this is fun for me, like actually thinking about my favorite movie and being like, oh my god, Cobra. I have so many thoughts and opinions on Cobra. Like it's just refreshing. So I hope that comes across in the video. I really love Cobra. I love physical media I love movies as it is, and I love horror specifically, but horror adjacent titles like Cobra, serial killer culture, massive fan of. So thank you so much for being here. We're gonna break down Cobra. I'm gonna probably get into some of the nitty gritty and really explain my thoughts on it, but until then, if you could like, comment, talk some shit, share, subscribe, send it to a friend, send it to a loved one. I don't care what you do. Just thanks for being here. Let's break down Cobra. In Cobra, we're introduced to Marion Cobretti, played by Sly Stallone. He is the tough cop that would rather go by Alice. Anyway, in Cobra, he is the leader of the Zombie Squad, which is basically just a task force for taking out these evil fucking bad guys where they don't want to ask any questions. They just want to take out disease. Crime is a disease, and Cobra is the cure. Unfortunately, the cure he needs, the cure he is providing really, is for the Night Slasher. He ends up being this disturbing looking gentleman you're seeing right now, who is the leader of the New World Order. No, we're not talking about some sort of wrestling tag team championship from the 90s, back when there was the NWO. We're talking about this evil, sadistic cult who wants to splatter blood all over the concrete. They don't really give a shit about who would affect civilians. The problem is they left a witness intact, because what happens? They get sloppy. They get sloppy and nonchalant, and Bridget Nielsen here, she decides that she's got to watch this murder, right? And so unfortunately for her, it's this cult will stop at nothing to see her dead, which brings us our hero Marion Cobretti, who has to keep her in a safe house and get her out of the city, protect her from herself and the long reaches that this cult has over the entire police department, hospital staff, you name it. This cult's infected it, and Cobretti has had enough. My personal history with Cobra goes back to when I was probably like 11 or 12, and this thing ran on TV all the damn time. It was on TNT like every weekend, and I caught it 20, 30 times before I saved up my paper route money, walked down over to that wonderful Kmart and picked it up on VHS, and then I watched it just non-stop. I was fascinated by it. I thought Cobretti was like the coolest character. He was kind of like, oh shucks, I don't know. Yeah, I just want to do a good job. Don't eat that shit. It's bad. It's junk food. That was a horrible impression. But anyway, what is he doing? He keeps his pizza in the freezer and he pulls it out and cuts it with scissors, that seems deliberate. Everything that's on TV, the Christmas ads, there's Christmas stockings, Christmas shit getting blown up in the store. I was like, this is really like commercial for being such like an 80s kind of action slasher. And then everything was deliberate, whether it was the bad guy like running the hair dye and it's like dripping down, when it slow-mos and he grabs the blanket and he's just stabbing through it and there's like blood splatter, the poor guy in the janitorial area where he's just getting murdered over some food, the elevator scene, obviously the stuff in the different parking garages, everything felt deliberate and it felt like it was supposed to be mean, nasty, and kind of like, I don't know, maybe it was trying to say something about the culture of that time, satanic panic, the drug revolution with Reaganomics. Everything just seemed like it worked really well in this movie, and it was super, super dark. And I mean, it works really well because we actually care about these characters. We care about Sly Stallone. We care about Bridget Nielsen. We like his buddy cop kind of, bromance that he's got going on where they kind of get on each other. It's got the Hellraiser dad playing kind of one of the other sergeants who's just awful but kind of works for this thing. It's got the dude from The Blob. It's got a great little ensemble cast. It's got great violence. The killers is believable. The setting's awesome. And the music. Angel of the City? Man, that thing was a banger where she's all dancing around and it's got like the different robot effects and everything. I'm kind of like making pointy gestures if you can't see. That little dancing with Bridget Nielsen and the music, just, it works, everything about it. The 50 awesome Mercury, I wanted that car so bad, the way he comes around those corners. I'm not even a big like action car chase kind of guy. I definitely love horror movies more, but this kind of made me appreciate it and go back and watch flicks like Bullet because of that car chase and some of the different action sequences that he pulls off. I think Cobra's a 10. I think everything about it, from the intro, I mean, it doesn't have a Canon logo. It starts off with Canon Films, automatically makes it a 10. Everything they do is a 10, right? No, but for real, what I appreciated about this movie as I got older was the serial killer connection. I wasn't picking up on it as a really young kid until I started thinking about John Wayne Gacy, and then obviously the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, who just terrorized pretty much all of California. That was huge. Ted Bundy, then obviously the infamous Jeffrey Dahmer. All those connections make this film dark, gritty, bloody, gory. It just feels like, it feels nasty. It's grimy. It's just, it gets into my bones a little bit. And Cobra, whether it's, I mean, there's awesome action scenes. Obviously, there's tons of gun violence. There's a lot of knife fighting. There's a lot of like really intense like leaders of the cult just losing their minds. That all works really, really well, but I think the serial killer vibe just makes it feels like something that could actually happen, and I think that's really, really palpable for this movie. I love it. No, Cobra means a lot to me. It's kind of like comfort food for my soul. I used to watch this like every weekend, every Sunday night growing up, and as I go back, as I get older and I look for nostalgia, Cobra's one that comes up all the time, and people haven't seen them. Like, what are you talking about? Go back through, pick it up. There's a great Scream Factory version. I've got this one right here that's just like a really cheap Blu-ray that's got a triple feature, Assassins, The Specialist, and Cobra. Pick that damn thing up. It is so good. It's gonna be cheesy. It's 1986. That's okay. We're all adults here. It's fucking Sylvester Stallone. He plays a maniacal cop that kills everybody. I mean, allegedly. So that's it, guys. That was 9+ minutes of me yakking about Cobra, Marion Cobretti. It's not even really considered a horror film, but I love it. I hope that's okay. Give yourself a stretch. You made it. Oh, we can move on to something else. I got all kinds of things up my sleeve. You just don't know what it's gonna be. Give me some suggestions down there. What do you like? Maybe if it's something that I haven't thought about for a while, I'll be like, I could watch 3 hours of Salem's Lot tonight. I would love to review that soon. Absolutely worship that movie. Guys, as usual, thank you so much for being here. If you can, share the word, hit the like button. Fucking smash, it's right down there. Yeah, you're not seeing it. Look, no, it's down there. You gotta hit the like button if you like it. That's just how it goes. Not really. Like, comment, talk some shit. I'll respond to you. I love talking about horror movies. I love talking about Cobra, so that's why I'm doing this. I need feedback. I like your feedback. Subscribe. If it's your first time, welcome. I've been only doing this for about a month. There's probably like 65 videos down there. Go scroll. Some of them suck. Most of them aren't that good, but I'm trying to work at it. Learning how to do this on the fly. I appreciate you guys very much. I'm going to come see you again tomorrow. Until then, cheers.